and we're going to, have some, like we're just going to wear boots, and we're going to really be on the, open road, and we need two-wheel transportation. What would we choose? We wouldn't choose Vespa. We'd probably choose Harleys.
Okay.
And by using those two different products, even though they're both perfectly fine two-wheel transportation, we feel differently about ourselves, about the experience. And so iconic products have that ability to actually, they're like talismans. They actually have magical qualities that imbue certain things that we believe about ourselves when we use them, and what we believe that other people think about us when we use them.
Soon, I want to find out more, and our audience does too, about the Iconic Advantage. But at this point in the show, we like to remind our listeners that you're listening to The Secrets of Success. My name is Bill Horan. The show is produced at the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We'll be right back after this brief intermission.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Secrets of Success. I'm your host, Bill Horan, and today we're speaking with Soon Yu, author of Iconic Advantage. Soon, just so our audience knows, this is not just something you thought up or decided to write a book about. You've actually worked with something like 50 companies to see how they've reached this iconic state. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, that was what was a surprise to me, is that, when before I had done the research on this book, and somebody asked me, well, how did that product or brand or service become iconic? I'd say, well, they did a lot of the right things to keep the brand around for a long time, and, there was a little bit of luck, and, it just happened to be something with longevity, and they lucked their way into it. And then when I dove deep and I looked at these 50 companies, I found that, no, there is one, principles behind it, and two, actual capabilities and strategy that people were pursuing consistently to reach iconic status. And that was a big aha moment for me.
And something else, if I read it correctly in your book, and this should impress everybody in our audience, iconic properties deliver 3 times the profit and double the volume of other properties. Did I get that correct?
Yes, and it depends on the industry. There are some industries where if you look at your portfolio of brands or products and looked at the ones that actually had iconic status, it's up to 100x in terms of their actual profit margins, and that was a shock to us. But on average, I think you're absolutely right that is definitely the case.
I think all of a sudden many people in our audience just put Iconic Advantage on their must-read list. So I think you better send more copies out to the store when they heard that volume of profits going up just like that.
Well, by the way, the other thing that I think is probably important for your readers is this idea that Iconic Advantage can apply on a very personal level when you think about personal branding.
Well, now, let me ask you, how about a small company? We know the big companies are, now that you've, enlightened us to, where to look for the Iconic Advantage and something like the Disney World that most of us are familiar with. But what about if we have a small law firm, an accounting company, maybe a plumbing organization in a town? Can that company build within their sphere or their marketing area an Iconic Advantage, or is it just for the national, worldwide or regional companies?
So I have a lot of people that pick up the book, and the 2 comments that I get from everybody, and it applies to people that work in Fortune 500, people that work for pizza parlor, and people who are just thinking about self-discovery and sort of understanding themselves, they all tell me two things. One is, as they were reading, they were thinking already about how to change their business practices or their personal practices or whatever they're doing. And the second thing I hear from a lot of people is they have notes down the margins on half the pages because they're thinking will apply on those levels. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it if you're a small law firm or if you're a pizza parlor or whatever it might be. First and foremost, again, when we define iconic, when we talk about the universe being iconic, it's not the whole world. It is only the people that you want to be iconic to. And if that universe means 20 clients, that's who you care about, and that's all you want to be iconic to is those 20 people. That's perfectly fine. A simple test to know whether or not you're iconic to those 20 people would be this. Literally, and this is true for Fortune 500 companies that have 1 million customers, don't even pick 20. Pick 3. Pick 3 of your clients, pick 3 of your customers, and ask them something very simple. What's the signature of my company? When I leave the room, what fragrance do I leave? What is it that you remember me for? And one, will all 3 of your customers say the same thing? That's first and foremost. And if they're not, well, you're already in trouble because that means you're not really known for any one thing. 2, is what they say meaningful to them and relevant and beneficial to them? And then number 3 is what they say something that your competitors can claim? Is it a platitude? Or is this something really distinctive and unique to you? And if you can find something that's meaningful to them that you're known for, then you will automatically be the prototype, the standard bearer that comes to mind when they think about that relevant quality that they're looking for. And here's a simple example. A pizza parlor, like I was talking about, in San Francisco, wanted to be iconic in Potrero Hill. So they were thinking, what is it about, either a signature dish or a signature quality? Well, they figured out they wanted to have a signature ingredient, and what they put for their crust was sourdough crust. And it was very in tune and in line with sort of the whole San Francisco, history of making sourdough bread. And the crust was amazing, and it was really tasty. And this pizza parlor's name's Goat Hill Pizza, and they're very iconic, not only in Potrero Hill, but all of San Francisco, because they are the only sourdough crust pizza available. And so that definitely works for small businesses. It also works for startups, Bill. I work with a lot of venture capital folks, and people who are in startups are often in what I call 2 or 3 horse races. And what they're trying to do is either they're trying to get out faster versus somebody, or they're trying to have more scale, be bigger than somebody, or they're trying to have some better technology. And the reality is this. Most customers and consumers don't really understand the idea of scale or technology, and tell me there's more MIPS and all that. I don't know what that is. It's not always the biggest or baddest mousetrap that gets the mice. It's the one with the stinkiest cheese. So your goal is to create stinky cheese, right? Cheese that's based on great storytelling, that leaves a fragrance, that therefore captures a part of my mind about something you own distinctly that you become iconic for.
I just think you have the title of your next book. Your goal is stinky cheese. Honestly, I would buy that book. If I see that in the store, I just have to, even if I have to steal the book or open it or get it at the library, I've got to know why my goal is stinky cheese. Of all the goals I could have in the world, profits, volume, sales, happy employees, happy customers, stinky cheese, I have to buy it. So I think somewhere in the margin of your book, you might want to jot that down, because I think you just gave us the title of your next book.
So you get 20% of all profits.
All right. I'll keep working on this. I want our audience to know the book we're talking about is The Iconic Advantage. It's by our guest Soon, S-O-O-N, just as it sounds, and last name Y-U. You heard the level of profits that if you can gain an iconic advantage, And how easy the question, what do you want to be remembered for? I'm thinking if I'm a plumbing company, I want to be remembered for fast, because if people have a leak, they want me there quickly, and of course, good work. So what do you, for your company, whether it's an accounting organization or a law firm or a restaurant, is it that, what was it, sourdough pizza bread or crust? What do you want to be remembered for? What will stand out? And soon, can you tell us, again, the website and where we can get the book?
Sure. So you can find more information at iconicadvantage.com, and you can buy the book on Amazon and at Barnes & Noble.
Now, something unusual or unusual to me when I was reading about in the book, you said icons give people a sense of belonging to a community. So not only do I enjoy going to Disney World, but tell us how that gets us into a certain community.
Sure. You see, the thing with icons and the relationship with humans is icons are symbols, and humans have an incredible ability to attach meaning to symbols. And it all starts historically, culturally, way back in the caveman days when we communicated not through letters or alphabet. We actually communicated through iconography, and that's how we actually told stories. Same thing is true in modern day. There's a big difference if I said to you, a different emotional reaction you'll get if I said Celtic green or Laker gold, right? So
no, exactly,
people very much identify with the sports teams and the icons that are related to the sports teams, the colors that are related to the sports teams. You see how people paint their faces. And that is still true today as it was, way back in the caveman days. And the same thing is true for products. I went to visit a great company called Tory Burch. They make these sandals, wonderful sandals, very popular with my wife. And I went there and I asked them, I showed them a picture of their Tory Burch sandal, which is a very premium, high-end sandal. And I said, are you a Birch or a Burke? And then side by side, I showed a Birkenstock.
Okay.
And it was really interesting. They answered the question by saying, it depends. It depends on the mood. It depends on who I'm with and what I'm doing. 90% of the time, we're Birches, but every once in a while, we're Burks. We like to go out and, maybe it's the day we want to fill granola. It's the day we want to go out and do a picnic, whatever, and let our hair down. And those days, we are Burks.
Soon, we want to thank you so much for being with us today. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. Again, the book is The Iconic Advantage. It's by our guest, Soon, S-O-O-N, last name Y-U. Soon, thanks for being with us. We'd like to remind our audience that you've been listening to The Secrets of Success on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host, Bill Horan, asking you to please join us again next week at this same time when we'll continue our journey to success.